So, you Disney nerds, got another one for you today, and we're going to talk about Magic Kingdom's Villains Land with OG55 and Mr. Webba coming up right at you now. Sweet. If y'all want to introduce yourselves, let's get started.
Let's do it. Yeah, you can find me. My name is Orange Grove 55, OG 55. You can find me right here on YouTube, talking shop with these two fine gentlemen all the time, talking theme parks, studio, corporate side, all that good stuff. You can also find me on X, Orange Grove 55. You can also find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55. Mr. Candy Camper, thank you for having me on. Appreciate you, man.
Yep. Of course. Webba.
Cannon, thank you so much for having me on. You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and also YouTube, and also OG55, Mr. Webba at Webcast Citizen.
Love it. Love it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave all their information in the comments below or in the description box. This is a good one. I know we've been talking about it for a while, and I know you covered it multiple times over on OG55, so everyone should go check that out. But this one's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to talk about why they should not get Villains Land. And then in a little bit, we'll also get into why they should, and just the differences that from kind of what we heard, and now the differences that we're getting into that they're not going to do. And we'll pull up some concept art for you guys, and I also want to show you guys a layover of where the land's going to take place. But let's get into it. Let's dive deep. Let's go, Webba. Webba, why do you think they should not have this over there in the Magic Kingdom?
Why they should not? I mean, I guess this reason. I mean, is it really a good reason? I don't know. But usually with Walt Disney World, I feel sometimes when they build things there, they don't really give the same attention to care and detail or love that they do to when they do stuff at Disneyland. Okay, for example, we were hearing about potentially Villains Land having this kind of more cheapy, spinning ride and, not so good stuff from what we heard the first time around, right? And I guarantee you that if Disneyland were to get it, it would be like the most best thing since sliced bread. And will Walt Disney World hold up to that same type of standard? Because I feel like that Disneyland's kind of, WDI's favorite park, so to speak. And I mean, look, Disneyland is also the OG park too, OG, right? And so,
Without the hair, it's crazy.
Without the hair, right? Without the hair. Now, why they should get it? Well, I mean, they do have the space. I mean, let's be honest, right? They do have the space for a much bigger plot of land. Out here in California, we are very much limited with our space, and we need to be thinking about really what's the best type of themes or IPs we can use for the rest of the space we have out here, right? So going to Magic Kingdom, I mean, there's an argument to be made, Candid. Yes, thematically it fits because these are the villains, or I'm assuming the Disney classic villains, right, going into this land. At the same time, though, if you're going to try to downplay this and try to make it more okay for the kiddos because it's like scary villains, at the same time, to what OG has always argued, this shouldn't have gone in Magic Kingdom in the first place.
Yes, and that's my thing too. You make great points, Webba. Here's my thing. People talk about this all the time, right? They're like, oh, well, they're like, oh, yeah, well, you can't have it too scary. It's going into Magic Kingdom. Okay, well, if Disney doesn't have the guts to pull the trigger on what it takes to make this theme work, then they shouldn't do it. Like, if you want a kid land, then choose a different theme.
Yeah.
But when you Villains Land, you have to go dark. You have to, man. And that's what frustrates me. The whole park, Magic Kingdom, the whole park has kid stuff in it. You're literally building the cars area, which is for kids. The kiddos love cars, and that's fantastic. I mean, kids are great, but I'm just saying, like, I don't understand how come one land, 8 or 9 acres or whatever this land's going to be, 10 acres. Why can't we just have that one area, which is a little bit older in the demographic? I feel like it's ridiculous when the whole park is basically for kids. Another thing too is to the Be Fair to Florida crowd. Because I see a lot of like, oh, Be Fair to Florida every time California gets the popcorn bucket. You guys are getting Villains Land, okay? You guys got a people mover. You guys got Carousel Progress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear Be Fair to Florida ever again.
Sorry. Which, by the way, popcorn bucket. guess what, people in Florida? We are getting the new Cars popcorn bucket, by the way. That was just unveiled today. So if you want that, you got to come to California.
Or you can ask you know other ways to get it. I agree with both of you guys. My whole thing with this is that it's pushed back so far that it's okay to go dark. It's okay because it's going to be sitting. It's not like you're walking through Fantasyland and you're like, oh well, shit, there's a castle or a medieval anything. You're not going to be like that's not going to be seen. But if what you will see is from a distance, and you're going to be like, shit, that's probably too intense for me. I'm not going to go there. And I
Yeah.
think that's the way you got to set it up. Like either you see it from a distance, that's not my place, or yeah, I need to go there. But you're not walking through it at all times. Just kind of like if you go over to those scare zones at like the not Universal, but what those? Yeah, even Universal has like scare zones. You have a map. Navigate through the scare zones if you don't want to go through the scare zones. Don't
Yeah.
go through the Villains Land, but don't take that away because you're going to hurt a couple people's feelings. The other thing is that this is kind of the hard part is that this park has a lot of thrill rides now. I think that they over the last couple of years they kind of boosted up their thrill rides, and by
Mhm.
doing that, they leave a lot of capacity on the table. So the things that we're getting here with like the dark ride, that needs to be a people eater, especially because this land is going to be open and new. Hopefully, the cars you take will eat up a lot of people too. But even our cars out here, it's what 3 in a row, so you get 6 people in that car, and that
Mhm.
splits up families, and it's just strange concept. So this needs to be a people eater, and then also does it belong in this park? Which I think you kind of answer that. Yeah, it has to go into a castle park. There's nowhere else for you to put it, like realistically, unless you made it even further back. I mean, look here, you have more room. If you were to make a pathway to back there and they keep expanding, but what do you put next to this now? That's the last question. What
Mhm.
goes next to this Villains Land with that extra space?
Well, and Ken, actually, there's something else I just thought about too, right? Is what do you do with your Halloween events now? You know, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. Yeah, how do you juggle having a Villains Land, right? That's still part of the park, Magic Kingdom, and now you're still having like peekaboo, Not So Scary Halloween to you, Mickey Mouse stuff, right? I mean, again, I haven't been to Magic Kingdom. I've never been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, so I don't know what the kind of festivities looks like over there and how widespread it is. But is there going to be a balance, a good like a good balance between Villains Land is like a because look, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, it's not scary. I mean, like even here Oogie Boogie, I would argue it's probably darker than from what I've seen from Mickey's Not So Scary, but it's still not like a scary, creepy thing. So is the question is Villains going to have a darker, creepier tone to it than Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? That's my question because they're both going to reside in the same park.
Do
Yeah.
you push it all to there though? Is that what we were saying? Like, do we push everything that way? But that now it's
Well,
all the way in the back of the park.
what my question is that do you just leave Villains as just Villains Land and kind of just separate it and not have any thematical seasonal offering for Halloween in that land? Because with the Cars Land out here, when it's Halloween, they theme it up. This Cars Land, will they theme up this Cars Land, and will they
Probably.
theme up Villains Land, or will they just leave Villains as is?
I think Villains will stay as it is, but I think what they'll end up doing is getting special souvenirs or stuff in the gift shop and foods. So it still will bring people into that area. But as far as like hanging up pumpkins and stuff like that, I just don't think that is going to be. It's not going to be as interesting. I don't think. Like Cars, Cars is great. That's actually one of my
Yeah.
favorite lands, especially during the Halloween time. Like they go all out on there, which hopefully they do here. I just don't see them being able to do that. Like, what would you do to Villains Land to be able to make it more Halloween or not so scary?
Yeah, it kind of
Well,
is already just being villains, right?
Exactly.
right, and that's what I'm saying too. Like with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you have this event behind a paywall for Star Wars Night, but then you have Galaxy's Edge. When all that stuff for Star Wars Night should be in Galaxy's Edge. My kind of same points, I guess, is that why bother having a Halloween Mickey thing if you already have a Villains Land to where you could
Unless you run
integrate.
two.
Well, see, but that's the thing though. Now the company's double dipping. That's what I'm saying. They're already doing that with Star Wars, at least out here. They're doing Star Wars. Okay, you have the Galaxy's Edge, but we're gonna double dip, get extra money from you by making you pay $150 to come in for the special event night with Star
So
Wars, which should already be in that land.
you
I
have my
hope they don't.
zones then. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's an interesting perspective, Webber, that you bring up. Are they going to Galaxy's Edge this thing? Like, are we going to get like barely any villains walking around and all that, and they're going to upcharge you for doing Halloween or something?
And that's my question.
Yeah, it's scary.
That is scary. That's spooky.
And they'll get and they'll get away with it. But the other side of it too is that you separate it. So you have the not so scary or whatever they call it, and then you have whoever the like Maleficent's sleeping party or don't go to sleep, like something like that. Watch, they're gonna steal that shit. And you go there, and that's where you have maybe some cocktails or just like what it would be in my imagination would be that's where you go to be a villain. So you would hang out with villains during like almost like a villain night where you're there doing what villains do on Halloween, where the not so scary stuff is, you're celebrating with Mickey Mouse and everything like that. But it'll be same ticket, just different sections.
Yeah, another thing too that in the rap article, which has been highly debated in the fan community, right? Webber, you brought it up, the Ursula spin ride, right?
God.
A lot of fans are kind of poo-pooing that, and they're saying, well, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do the spinner ride. I'm telling you right now,
they're going to do the spinner ride.
Well, they might. Well, they might, because they've been on a big capacity push lately. We've seen it with them lowering the height requirements for rides like Big Thunder. They got rid of the spinning action on Cartoon Spin to get more people through that attraction as well. It would not shock me if they added a spinner ride for capacity reasons. We've even seen an issue at Epic Universe not having some of these kind of like filler rides and how it kind of creates an issue for that park. I just think with this new kind of renewed push for capacity, I'm not saying they're going to do the spinner ride for sure. I don't know, but I'm just saying I don't think fans should completely discount that idea because of how the company's kind of moving right now when it comes to the capacity stuff. I think it's a huge possibility.
Yeah. My problem, OG, with the spinner ride is,
where would that go? By the way, sorry.
Oh, the spinner ride.
Yeah, where would that go on here?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they would fit it in. I mean, they got a lot of land. I don't know. They'd fit it in somewhere, but I don't know exactly where. What do you
between
think?
The Villains Coaster, maybe weaved in like they did with the Emotional Whirlwind.
Yeah, something like that. Interweaved.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say you. Go ahead, Webba.
Oh, I was gonna say, here's the thing. Like, my problem with the spinner attraction is that Magic Kingdom already has a couple spinner rides already. The other thing too is like that I'm fine with filler attractions. You absolutely need them, or else, like you said, OG, you get the Epic Universe problem. But I'm sure that Disney could come up with something a better attraction than that's just another spinner ride. Like it doesn't have to be something crazy, but just something like on the smaller side. But it can still be a better concept than just a spinner. I mean, that's boring. It's a spinner, dude. You have spinners all over the place at Magic Kingdom. Why do you need another one? Are they trying to expand with the filler rides? Yes, for capacity. I get it. But I'm sure there's something else that's better you can create. I'm sorry.
No, that's a great point. That's a fantastic point. You can do a maybe small scale dark ride, right? And get that capacity in there. Magic Kingdom has too many spinners anyway.
Yeah.
I don't get it. The thing is that I'll sit back and I'm always gonna say I want more. But then when you start using certain characters, and then you kind of landlock them into not being able to do anything else with them later on. And look what they did with Ariel over at DCA. Ariel's kind of stuck there. It'll be awkward to bring her back over to the other side. If you go to Magic Kingdom, you have Aladdin. So now you're gonna have Jafar here just dorking around while Aladdin's hanging out over by the spitting camel. So it's just kind of like that weird concept of like, where do you draw a line between these villains and these other characters? And I mean, it's a spinner ride. Like, I mean, if I brought my kids there, they're going to be like, "Oh, I want to ride the spinner ride because it's Ursula." I get that. But then do we walk by the other spinners and like, "Hey, we're not going to ride that one"?
Well,
Um,
exactly. I mean, in my opinion, you can't just sell the spinner ride just because it's like Ursula, or
Yeah.
or if it was like a Jafar spinner ride, right? This has to be a quality. These have to be quality attractions. I mean, we can't have these little cheapo off the shelf rides anymore. I'm sorry, guys, we can't.
no,
You
no,
know?
and this is the artwork they sold us at D23. This is the
Yep.
artwork that got all that applause. I was there that day. That place was going freaking nuts for this art. Now, mind you, I do want to say too, I do want to bring this up, and I don't mean to like do the comparison game, but there's a lot of talk about how we don't know anything about Pandora at DCA. We have
Mhm,
like 5 pieces of concept art for Pandora. And
mhm.
we know the ride system for the main attraction. We know far less about this thing than Pandora. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
Yeah.
I got off on a tangent. But this is the vibe they need to go with, though. They got to deliver on this. But I have a feeling Disney's going to chicken out. I really, really do.
Especially hearing that we're gonna get Yzma instead of Maleficent, which is in this concept art. Look at the roller coaster in the back. Like that has nothing to do with Emperor's New Groove,
Right.
and that's all gonna change. Um, but supposedly we're gonna get the dark ride, which is gonna have her as the main focal point or the main character. I just wanted to walk up and see a big ass dragon spitting flames, dude. Like that is money. And now we're gonna get Gronk pulling levers.
It's corny,
Well,
bro. It's
well,
corny. Oh,
Exactly.
because it was in the movie. It's like, so what, though? Like, Disney has the best library of villains on the planet.
Easily.
Easily. And of all these villains that you can choose from, Krunk. Oh, because OG, you don't get it. He does the lever in the movie, though. Who cares?
yeah,
Who cares?
but OG, but to counter your point, not from my opinion, but from the fan community, is to them, it's it writes itself. It's right there in the movie. It's an actual roller coaster. Do that. And
Lazy.
that's how a lot of them think, because it's right there in the movie. We should just do it because it's right there. And I think for Villains Land, in terms of villains, yes, I do obviously love a lot of our classic Disney villains. But the villains we need, in my opinion, especially if you want to go dark with this theme, we need the dark, bad villains. I think we need Maleficent, we need the Evil Queen, we need the Horned King, we need Chernabog, we need these dark, bigger, bad villains. Like, look, I love Captain Hook. I don't want to see Captain Hook in this land. I don't want to
He's
see.
too cartoony.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see Cruella de Vil in this land, right? Like, we need like scarier, more kind of the like demonic villains, if you will, in this land, or villains that have like a type of magic power to them. I don't want to see, and to the cartoony thing as well. Can to your point, I don't want to see parade villains either. And what I mean by how they look, right? You got like the weird, colorful costume head. I think these villains should be very much like a lot of prosthetics, but face characters still,
Yes.
because they have to have personality. And I'm sorry, I don't want to see bobblehead, Jafar, or like Frollo or something. No.
So let me ask you this: the Maleficent Mega e-ticket that we're gonna get, which is supposedly going to be like Shanghai's Pirates, is going to have that same technology. Do we get it kind of like Universal style, where they're going to throw every villain in there, just like they do with every monster, and you're just going to have to
Oh,
be the
Well,
prince or the princess or whoever that's to fight through all of it?
that could be kind of cool if they go like, how like kind of like the finale scene in Phantasmic,
mm-hmm.
how all the villains are interacting and all these things kind of weave together. It could be cool if they write the attraction right, if they do it in a cool way.
Yeah.
That kind of like ensemble dark ride could be really, really sick. I wouldn't mind that. Would you mind that, Webba, if they had like a bunch of the villains? I don't care.
No. Here's the thing. I think that would be really cool, because it's kind of like what you're saying. You're kind of playing with that, right? And I think that'd be cool to kind of like fight, like like a collaborative effort of all the villains trying to come after you or whatever. I think that'd be cool. But again, I want like the scary villains, right? I don't want like these kind of more cartoony, jokey villains mixed in here. I want this to be dark, right? I want Horn King coming after you, right? I want Maleficent and the dragon, the evil queen trying to poison you and laughing at you or whatever, right? I need these kind of darker villains. And here's the thing, Hades is interesting because he's like a comical villain, but still he's like king of the underworld. So I would love to see him in the land, but make him like darker though, if possible.
So the other side of this is that the fact that they went from having like Bald Mountain or Maleficent themed roller coaster to now putting her inside of a dark ride or a mega, sorry, I'm using the term mega e-ticket attraction. This means that they didn't have a concept for this, or they had multiple concepts and they kept debating, going back and forth. But then how do you come up with, hey, we're going to take Maleficent or Bald Mountain, put it into an e-ticket boat ride, and then we're going to go to Emperor's New Groove? Like, I feel like Emperor's New Groove is what should have been on that Rolodex all the way in the back, not just the next one after those other two.
No, I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. It's not that that's a bad franchise, but when people were at D23 and they announced this land, nobody turned to each other in that stadium and said, "Man, I hope they add some really family friendly stuff in here." No one wanted that. No one asked for that. No one wanted any of that. They saw this artwork and they're like, "We want creepy. We want scary." Emperor's New Groove is a cool movie. It's a cult classic kind of vibe. It does not belong to have one of the main signature attractions in this land.
You know where this would go? This can go over in Animal Kingdom. You could have put this Yzma roller coaster in Animal Kingdom and put in like a little mini land where you could have Cusco's palace, and it just would have made more sense. Now you're bringing this into the Villains Land. It just doesn't make sense. And the thing is, like, I know we just talked about the flat rides, but even having Ursula flat ride makes way more sense than getting this Yzma Kronk coaster.
You're right, because Ursula is one of the top tier Disney villains. She's top tier. Yeah. She's great. So I mean, her as a character makes way more sense. I was really disappointed when I saw that. That to me is the accountants or the Excel spreadsheet people saying, you know what, we need 10% of this demo and 10% of that demo, and they're trying to figure that out. You can't do that. This is a Villains Land. It all has to be creepy and scary. The kiddos have Cars Land. Know.
There's a reason why people always root for the villains, such as the Disney villains or the Empire, right? People like the darker stuff. Yes, you have your heroes, but I mean, come on, let's be honest. A lot of people like to root for the bad guys. you know what I mean? So we want bad guys. We want bad guy stuff. Give us the bad guy stuff.
I agree with you. And the last part of this too is like, supposedly the dinner that we're going to get is going to be the Hades underworld dinner. So you're going to have like a show with him in there. It's going to be like a prefix sit down restaurant. I mean, this place needs to be massive. I mean, look what they did with, oh man, what was it? The Beauty and the Beast. Like, that place is pretty big. It's good size, but it still was hard to get into for years. So if they're doing this, they need to make this like multi-floor or just have enough seating, because you only have 2 rides and a flat ride. People are going to want to eat there. How do you do that? And then also, how do you have a show running? So you're going to have people come in and sit there to watch the whole show. You're not going to be able to get people like butts out of the seats.
Well, and then I feel like the Hades dinner show thing is sort of like more of like this. If it's happening, we'll see. To be fair, we don't know for sure, but I feel like that's more of like this sort of like, we have to make it a little corny and cheesy, so it's palatable for like the kiddos. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that. I want to see like a serious take on this theme. And Universal did it with Dark Universe. Like, I don't see like a major problem with the kids going through that land, right? I mean, it's fine. So I think Disney can do it. And this is the one thing, like when it comes to like this coming over here to the West Coast, if they're gonna cornball the land because it's a castle park, honestly, I would just put it in DCA, because at least with DCA, it's a secondary park and you can actually be a little scary. I'd rather them get the land right than put it in Disneyland and have them cornball it because it's in the castle park.
Yeah. And I agree with that too. And I kind of have that feeling too that they'll kind of do that with this. Like, what I was reading is that they're gonna have a Hades animatronic, and then you're gonna have a revolving door of roaming villains. So you're gonna bring all these other villains in just to walk around. So now that kind of negates the point of having them out in the world. But also too, like, is Hades going to be singing random songs? Is he going to have people join him on stage? And is that going to make it cheesy? Is that going to make this too soft? And then you go out and then you see Yzma and Kronk, and you're like, oh, okay, this is great. But then all of a sudden you're going to go to this dark ride with Maleficent and all the other villains and this giant castle. Like, what vibe are you going with? And you can't just change up on people like that. Like, you got to stick to it.
Oh
No, I agree with you. And that the whole Hades dinner show thing feels like that show from the '90s, House of Mouse.
yes.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
Captain Hook and like, you know, Jafar sitting at a table while Hades is up on stage telling jokes, right?
Yep.
Go ahead,
100%.
Exactly. No, actually, no. I was gonna say the type of vibe I want from this land as a whole is like, to OG, what you said, the villains aspect of Phantasmic. I mean, that show, it's a battle between good and evil, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, obviously now in the current version, because in the old version we didn't have this, but you know, the magic mirror traps Mickey in the mirror. You know, like literally, I can't come out and grab him, right, because of the evil queen. So, you know, I want this type of thing where it's like these villains, because this is the part, right? It's the story of this land. Like, I want the villains to actually be like out there. They're sinister. They have a plot to like take over Magic Kingdom or something, right? I want evil intentions with these villains. So I want them to be bad guys. They're bad people. Let them be bad people. Let them have evil desires. You know,
But that's the thing. Is it us going in there being evil with them, or is it us trying to fight against them being evil?
You know, for me, I don't want, and I might be in the minority with this one. I don't want to be part of the story.
Okay.
I just want to be like Fantasyland, where I go and I experience
From the outside, it looking in.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't like the whole like that's the one issue I have with Avengers Campus. Like, we're going to train you to be a superhero. I don't know, it's not my thing.
No,
But
no.
do you guys like that, or?
No, because look, that's the same problem with Galaxy's Edge. Oh, you're gonna come in here, you're a visitor on Batu, and you know, we're gonna give you, you know, you have credits to buy this, and you know, and then Chewie's gonna follow you after you crash up to like the Millennium Falcon and stuff. Like, I'm not here to LARP, dude. You know, I'm here to be immersed in a theme park land, you know, and I want to experience the story in a passive manner. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not a Renaissance fair guy. You know, like if I want to do that whole thing and dress up, I'll go there. I just want to go to the Villains Land and just be like, for example, Wizarding World. You know what I'm saying? You just experience the world of Harry Potter. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, they're not telling you like you're gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes they get way too into this whole thing. Like, even with this Monstropolis news today, I don't know if you guys saw this Monstropolis news. Human Day. You know, it's like, oh, now you're part of the story. We're all gonna walk in and it's Human Day. It's like, it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just kind of like,
we're gonna be part of the Villains Land, pretty much.
Yeah.
Damn. And you know, it's weird. Like, I never thought of it that way, but I agree with you. Like, when I went to DCA, I didn't want to be Spider-Man. Like, I didn't want to like fight around Spider-Man. I just wanted to ride the rides. It felt like almost like there's too much effort sometimes to do that.
Well,
and the show scenes over in Galaxy's Edge, I'm sitting there and he's talking to me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not. I can't even do this. I don't even know these people next to me. I know I'm not going to get all those RuPauls or whatever the hell they're called. Like, what the fuck they called? Can't remember.
The coaxium.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get all of. I fucking got 2 coaxium when we killed it one of the times. It just doesn't work. So I don't know. I think you're right, and it just kind of makes you feel like shit when you just don't do a good job, and then you get kicked out.
Well, Ken, this is why I think. Well, except that, right? Because it's more like involved, because it's interactive. I just want to go to the land, and then, you know, yes, I want the land to kind of have a story to it, but I don't want to be LARPing in the land. And in terms of experiencing a story, if Disney wants to have me experience a story that they want to tell, I'd rather have that be in the attraction. Like, I sit in the vehicle or whatever this attraction is, and you're going to move me around and have me experience what you want me to experience, like in a story you're trying to tell. It's not really any any of the rides there. Snow White, Rise of the Resistance, Indiana Jones, right? We're in the story, but we're not like active participants
all the
so to
way,
speak.
all the way full. And I think
Yeah.
that is the fine balance. Indiana Jones is a perfect example. Like you
Yes.
are the closest you're going to get into a story because
Yeah.
you kind of fucked up yourself, but then he's saving you. But you're right, you're not like flying the thing to be able to fucking do this thing. Like it's, I get it. I just, I want my park days to be effortless. I'm on vacation.
Well, well, exactly. You know, and here's a canon. I'm a rides guy. You think I'm trying to like go in and like be like super nerdy and do all this LARPing stuff in the park? No, I'm trying to go there and just experience it as like just you as well. And OG's a vibes guy. He's not going to try to do all this nonsense. You know, he's like, hey, I'm here for the vibes. I'm here for the drinks. You know, I don't want to be forced into like, you know, chasing this villain or having some sword fight with Captain Hook. You know, like no.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a balance to this stuff for sure. Indiana Jones like walks that line perfectly.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's a very passive experience, but it's just enough of your involvement where you feel part of it. That's perfect. But I think in recent years, Disney has gone way too far with the live your own adventure. You know, it's like, no, I want to just, you know.
We need things on that level again too. You know what I mean? Like we need that same level of detail that we got from Indiana Jones. Like that's just in another planet. Anytime I talk to people they've never been or it's their first time, it's like you gotta even if people let people pass you in the queue. Just just use that queue to just lose yourself for a minute because it's nothing I've ever been or ever done before. I'm not gonna go walk through the Amazon or wherever the hell he's at. I'm not gonna do that, but I can at Disney.
exactly.
And then I forget that I'm at Disney, and then I go and save my boy because that's what I'm about to do. On this shitty ass Jeep, so I'll break down on you. This castle right here, I'm gonna be the first one to say it. We ain't fucking getting this. We're not getting this. Not this scale. You know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get that bougie ass fucking like the little mini castle that we got over already on the fucking what's her name on Cinderella.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean like the storybook canal boats?
No, not Cinderella. Belle's castle.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. That's a huge possibility. Is this thing gonna loom over the land this big? I don't know, man. You don't
want to overtake the other castle, so they won't do it unless it's that far out to the side or covered up by other trees. There's no way.
It's gonna be forced perspective, but it's gonna be that like the Beauty and the Beast one. I'm telling you, it's maybe a little bigger than that, but it'll be similar to that. Because you're right, they're not going to want to outdo the other castles. So
yeah,
and I don't think it's just so strange to me. And the force perception stuff works really well when you do it right. The Beauty and the Beast one is just not done well. You're too close to it, so you can tell that it's small.
Yeah, we'll see how they execute this. I will say this: I mean, the last couple projects that they've kind of opened at Disneyworld lately, the animation courtyard and the Muppet thing, both look really, really good. So I will give them credit for that. So that does bode well going into this. But this one worries me a lot because I just feel like Disney doesn't have the guts to get as creepy as they should for this franchise.
I agree with that.
To do it.
I think for me, OG, I agree with that, but I think part of that, I think there's just a lot of other things that could go wrong. Like this is a land you have to get right, and if you don't get it right, you're gonna have another Galaxy's Edge situation. Because
well, so no, you're right, Webby, because this land has potential to be a Galaxy's Edge. A lot of fancy rock work with no characters because they want, like you were saying, they want to upsell you on the character experiences when it's Halloween time.
Yes, no, exactly. Plus, then also, what are the rides going to be like as well? Like, are we actually going to get that spinner ride? And if we are, we got a problem, and are we going to have that cheesy, jokey, Mickey Mouse theater with Hades? Okay, like if we do, that's going to be awful. I'm sorry, that is like, I don't want this land to be like the place of jokes, right? I want this place to be a serious spot for villains, a serious spot for evilness. Exactly what we see in Fantasmic, right? When they're literally trying to like destroy Mickey. That's what I want to see, like those type of evil villains.
They didn't have a problem doing it before in the 90s, early 90s. I mean, come on, what happened? Disney, this is why I've kind of a little bit have fallen out of Disney a little bit, right? I will always love Disney, but they've gotten to a point lately where it's like they're scared to get a little bit more adult. Back then, The Lion King, dude, that movie is crazy. When when Mufasa dies, gets set up by Scar, and little Simba's like, "Dad, wake up!" Dude, that is insane. They would never do that nowadays. Bambi gets shot in front of all those kids in that theater in the 1940s. Okay, Fantasmic in '92, super cool, man. The villain scene was creepy and dark, you know, but they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. Now it's like, hey, welcome to Villains Land. You know,
I love it.
you guys ready for a Hades dinner show?
Yes.
And that's the thing, is you're gonna bring out I can't remember their name, but like the two little devils, and they're gonna come out and just dance and fuck around the whole time. Like,
Probably.
it's just gonna be weird. Have you guys read
Hope
The
we're
Kingdom
wrong.
Keepers?
I
No.
don't read, but yeah.
I don't know how to read. There's a book called The Kingdom Keepers, and it's about these teenagers that become holograms in the park. So they basically point people into the direction of the rides, or they're like hosts. But something goes wrong, and at night when they fall asleep, they end up getting transferred back into the park. And there's some weird stuff happening. There's a lot of mischief, and they're wondering why that is. They found out that Walt's pen, the original pen that he used to do his illustrations, it has magic. So they'd be able to draw anything they wanted, and it'll come to life. The villains are trying to find that pen, and the kids go into the park at night because they're brought in to help take over in the park, to help the villains, like to get rid of the villains and like get the pen first. So I think something like that would be awesome, where we are they call them DHIs, like that's where we are. Obviously, we wouldn't be holograms, but it'd be kind of cool to be able to go in there to save the park if we were to be transformed into having to cosplay.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad. That's a really cool concept. I like that. I mean, if they had a cool story like that, that would be pretty sick. I like the idea of like Walt's pen, and that kind of gives off a little bit of like a phantasmic kind of vibe too. So that's pretty cool.
There's like 6 of these books, or 7 now, I think, and all of them are based off of like Maleficent being like she's the queen, you know, and everyone does her bidding for her, and man, they're just fantastic. So everyone go out there, check them out. The Kingdom Keepers. It's been out for a while now, but if you want like dark Disney, that's kind of where it's at, and it's made by Hyperion, or published by Hyperion too. So it's an actual Disney book.
Okay.
Great. I hope this was one of those books where I read it and I'm like, once Disney Plus kind of started, I'm like, dude, this is a perfect Disney Plus type of show, and people would eat it up. Just being able to be like, it would be hard because you would need to film in the parks at night, and I just don't think they would be able to do all that. But I wanted to pull this back up. I was reading too, this land could be anywhere from 12 to 14 acres, and then all the surrounding with like the moat and the water work and everything like that, it's about 33 acres. So how much of this is like what I was saying earlier, how much of this is going to be rock versus actual walking path? Because we have, dude, Galaxy's Edge is so confusing to me, especially Disneyland's. You're going in weird ass spots. There's all this extra pathway for no reason. You go through this weird, like the bathroom section where it has that weird ass thing in the middle, which why couldn't you give me some fucking water or something? Like, give me something there. And you just have bathrooms.
That land needed water though. That land is pretty cool looking, but if it had like a cool little waterfall or something, that'd be sick.
Yeah, like give us something, like give us weird colored water, make it like purple or something. Like just do something different. And we didn't get any of that. And then you see the sheer size of all the rocks, and you can't go near them. You're like pushed back, like pushed away from everything. Everything's gated off, or they filled up the land with not stormtroopers, but like the ships and stuff like that. So it just makes it seem like it's full, but you're really not doing anything. They're not even interactive. You just take a picture with them.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a waste of space.
This land runs the potential of being like that, with a bunch of pretty rock work. Not a whole lot to do, and so I hope they learned their lesson when it came to Galaxy's Edge. Get some music in here.
Yep.
Have a lot of characters.
What do you do? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
agree with you, Webb, but don't do the big rubber head characters from the parades.
No.
Those characters don't fit this aesthetic.
What do you do about interactive things? So that's the biggest one. Like everybody's trying to do interactive. You go to Harry Potter and they have all these different things with the wand. What is Disney gonna do to make fucking extra money? Because you know they're gonna have to implement something. You can't build a lightsaber here. So what are you gonna do? You
What
can't
if
build
you
a go ahead.
Well, what if you did like a Maleficent like staff thing that can like interact with the environment or something?
Jafar's staff, like
Or
maybe
Jafar, yeah.
everybody that has a staff, you fucking make a staff.
Or also you could have a certain part in like a certain section of the wall in the land that you can interact with the magic mirror.
That would be sick. That's a great idea.
I just think they're gonna have to come, especially the size of that shop. Like that's taking up so much. And honestly, I think that shop's that big to hide the haunted mansion. Like I think they need to have it shaped like that so you can hide it behind there. Um, I'm just curious to see how they're gonna gouge us and what they're gonna do it. Is it gonna be the popcorn bucket? Is it gonna be multiple foods, drinks? Will we get actual alcohol here too? That's another thing.
See, and that's the issue I think with the Magic Kingdom castle parks is that they technically sell alcohol in these parks, but it's very hard to do it. They're pickier. If you had the same land in Hollywood Studios or DCA or something, you could have a full-on villain bar. Now that would be cooler, I think.
God,
a villain bar would be sick, dude.
It'd be awesome.
That would be so sick. And Disney spends money on those bars because they make their money back on it.
Easily. But what do we here? We're doing Yzma again.
Yzma.
Like, that one's gonna bother me, and it sucks too because I love that movie. I love that franchise, and I love the idea of that coaster. It just can't just not here. This isn't it.
No.
This isn't the time for that, and it just sucks. And what not only that too. Like, what are you gonna do to refresh these new kids? Like, they already have the show. They already had the movies. They even did spin-offs of Kronks. Like what more can you do with this? Just like they did with live action. Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna get a live action Emperor's New Groove.
I wonder if they're choosing this franchise because they love Patrick Warburton.
No, yeah.
They pull him out every time they do a new Soren. Every time. And I love him too. He's great. But I wonder if they're doing this franchise because he voices that one dude. I don't know his name. And maybe they have they have a contract with him or something. Like, okay, well, we got Patrick here to do the voice. Cool.
Here's just my question to you guys. Okay. So because again, like I said, this has the potential to become another Galaxy's Edge situation. But not only on the side I was talking about, but let's talk about D23 real quick, Candid. Okay.
Yeah.
The Galaxy's Edge, one of the pitfalls of it was because some of the substance that was supposed to be there was taken out, during this final construction phase of what they announced at D23, right? So coming this D23, whatever they announce for updates on VillainsLand and even Cars, and everything that they're going to announce is all that going to make it into the final product.
No, and you're already seeing it. You're already seeing it with these photos. Dude, they already changed the ride. They already changed the roller coaster. So how much money are we going to lose on this? And you got to think it this way too. Like, Disney will do the absolute minimum amount to make the most money. They do not care. That's why there's no expansion plots. That's why there's no second round of anything. Just like how we were supposed to have a second round of expansion for Galaxy's Edge. We're not going to get that. They're making their money back already. And how are they going to do that? By giving you shitty land and then updating it again after a couple years to the old Star Wars story to bring people back into the park. It's almost like they did it on purpose to be able to just keep capitalizing over and over and over again. And I mean, it's a smart business strategy, but you're risking people talking shit about this. And not only that, you have a park down the street that has real villains, real monsters, and you're gonna fuck around and do this shit. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go down the street. And not only that too, I want my kids to know about these Universal. That's what started it all. You're giving me the beginning of monsters at Universal. My kids need to know about that. So what are you gonna give me here? Because Maleficent is where it's at. Not once again, not Yzma. That's not the villain that my kids need to know is a villain. It's not. She's just a bad person.
Right. No,
she's murdered, by the way.
She's like a Cruella.
Yeah, just a normal gal that just wants to be powerful.
Yeah, she
Where
even kind of looks
Maleficent,
like
like,
Cruella.
yeah, Maleficent's actually powerful fucking witch, whatever the hell she is. But is she witch, right?
I think so.
Technically,
I'm not really sure.
all I
She's.
know, she's
I mean, if you wanted to go,
a fairy.
I guess technically by the live action movies, yeah, she's a fairy. I mean, she don't look like a fairy. She look like some dark demon creature.
Wait, were you talking about Maleficent or Yzma?
Maleficent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Yzma. No, I think Yzma looks like Cruella de Vil. But yeah, no, Maleficent's a fairy, right? A dark fairy.
Yeah,
Dark fairy.
dark fairy.
She was just so misunderstood, Webba. You know,
she's just Angelina Jolie.
I don't like that misunderstood thing. No. She's evil. She is literally called the mistress of evil. That's what she is. Okay, we just make her evil, and I want this land to be that. The villains are bad guys. Okay, they're not these like sorry, understood, misunderstood villains. No, you are just a bad, MF. Okay,
yeah, like, and I agree with you. I agree with you. I can't understand that whole like misunderstood thing too. If you're a bad person, I don't care what your backstory is. I don't care like what kind of mental crap you got going on. You're a bad person. You do bad things. You're just a bad person. I don't care. Like, oh, poor person. No. I don't care. You're still a scumbag.
So how does Trinabog fit back into this now? Because isn't he the one that conjures up all these villains and all this like bad stuff throughout the land? Or wouldn't he be the one doing that?
I don't.
I mean, wait, in terms of like what, like when Phantasmic has their villains,
Well, I'm saying in general, like this Trinabog was supposed to be the pinnacle, like he was supposed to be the focus beside Maleficent. But now that whole Bald Mountain section is going to be scrapped for this other ride, a solar roller coaster. So how are you going to go into Villains Land and not have literally the demon himself?
And dude, they could hand Universal their lunch if they had a giant chair in a bog right next to Maleficent's castle. Do you know how sick that would be? Disney has, and that's the frustrating thing. Disney has every advantage, and they're like, nope, we're gonna do Emperor's New Groove. I don't know. It's really annoying, but we'll see. To give them the benefit of the doubt, that's not the Yzma stuff and all that. It's not confirmed. We'll see how it all shakes out. We got D23, but I just think it's a huge missed opportunity, man. Chernabog, dude.
Supposedly that's where his castle is supposed to be sitting. So supposedly her castle is going to be sitting on Trinabog's mountain, but in the photo here, we don't have Trinabog in this at all. Or can you pull it up for me? Sorry, pull slide. Either slide.
Yeah, no, I got you. Slide. What was that? Number 1?
Either 1 or 2. Yeah. Yeah. See, he's not even there.
Yeah, and I don't see him in this other one either. Let me see.
No, you just see her.
They're not going to put Chernabog.
Nope. And I think and it just sucks because Fantasia was just, growing up, that was another one. Just
well, yeah, I mean, literally, he conjures in Fantasia, which they put in Fantastic, right? He's conjuring like these spirits, these ghosts, and like attacking this to go basically kind of attack like the town of the village below, right? And I mean, dude, Kenan, do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
Of course, dude. Just imagine him sitting on top of the castle, just, you know what I mean, with his wings spread open, or like even animatronic wings, dude. Just him kind of flapping.
Right.
God, that'd be amazing.
I mean, dude, look. I mean, look at this. I mean, look, how cool would this be to see this guy?
Exactly. Yep. That's the scene I was talking about.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's huge. He's got big, like, demonic wings, right? I mean, he kind of almost looks like a very giant sized gargoyle, right? Yeah, exactly. So, and dude, it's sick, and he has like these powers too. And I mean, look, do you look at this guy and you're like, oh, we're gonna make him this cute, magical, fluffy, character, and he's misunderstood? No, you're like, this guy is a spawn of,
Yeah.
We lost Webba.
Yeah, well, he just got
this guy is not.
There he is.
There you go.
This guy does not need to be like, told he's a good guy, or he's gonna try to save us from the other. No. This guy is a bad dude, and I like him as a bad dude, and he should just be a bad dude.
A
You
bad
know what I
dude.
mean?
Yeah, and hopefully, at least in the boat ride, that's the final scene. Like either the
That'd be
final scene
cool.
is you fighting Maleficent and you taking her bitch ass out, or you're fucking with Trinabog and he's gonna fucking just eat your butthole.
Yeah. They got to do this land right, and we'll see
and
if they do.
also, you know what? I would also love to see Dr. Facilier too, because he's the Shadow Man, and he works with the friends on the other side. So,
I was
so
gonna say he has friends
conjure.
on the other side, exactly.
Yeah, and again, he also has a staff too. So he conjure ghosts and ghouls and stuff, right? Shadow people, dude. That would be also cool. So, like I said, I want these characters, these villains. I want them to include the darker villains in this land.
So the thing is too, which I love about Facilier, is that they have him walking around as a human, not as
Yes.
Right.
whatever it
Bobblehead.
is. Yeah. So I think they need to do that same thing, because if you start putting, just kind of like the Captain Hook thing, if you start putting these big puffy 7-foot fucking figures walking around that are bright ass red, or like his case purple and stuff like that, it's gonna be out of place.
Yes.
So everybody that they have walking around needs to be in makeup, just like Maleficent or the queen, evil queen, needs to be in makeup.
Yeah. Now
Can we
you
get the
know
evil
what?
queen, or is she too busy over in Fantasyland?
We should get her or at least the witch version of herself. I think we should get,
Okay.
right.
Oh,
Poison
that'd be
apple
cool.
and stuff. Now
Yeah, that'd
here's
be
the
cool.
thing. Here's the thing. I think if we do get Captain Hook in this land, I think what Captain Hook could be good for, if we get him, even though he's a more comical villain, is maybe put that to use, not like in a show, but have him kind of look like how he does in Phantasmic OG, right? How he actually has all the prosthetics, the hair and everything, and have him kind of like insult the guests basically as they're walking around, and kind of have that he's comedy, but not like slap knee stick comedy, right? It's like I'm here to insult the guests, and like, you know what I mean. So he's a face character. He can interact with you.
I like that kind of stuff. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Gaston's not a villain, by the way. I'm just putting that out there.
You don't think he's a villain?
No. He was trying to literally save her from a monster, from an animal, by the way. Kind of weird.
From an
Just saying. Yeah, it's just kind of strange. I think we kind of are all on the same page here, and hopefully Disney just gets their head out of their ass, and they need to stop listening to certain people. I think that's the thing. There's a certain type of person out there that Disney listens to way too much, and it hasn't done them very well in the last couple of years, especially since 2020. And whoever that person is the same person, I think, that gave us that Tiana ride. I'm not gonna say awful, because it wasn't that bad, but realistically, not hearing Zippy Doodah throughout the whole thing, and going on there and having these blank spaces where there's just nothing to fill it up with, it kind of hurts a little bit. And all they
Disney
need to do is give us the original movie.
Disney does over listen, I think, to fans sometimes, and they become very reactive, and that's a problem. I think Disney needs to do the best work they can do creatively, and sometimes just kind of ignore the noise, because a lot of times the fans are not always right. The fans didn't want Mission Breakout, and that turned out freaking amazing. So, sometimes the fans are not always right, and Disney gets in there and they try to make everyone happy. Well, when you try to make everyone happy, you make nobody happy.
Yeah. Right. And I don't think it's fair that the pirates have to get hit by a piece of bread. I think it's backwards, because remember, they used to be chasing them, but now it's okay for them to chase them with bread.
Yeah,
So,
and but that there is just more of them trying to upkeep with like modern times, which I personally, whatever. But I want the story of just pirates being pirates. Like, this isn't Jack and the Neverland Pirates, where like pirates never steal treasure. No, that's what they do. They steal, they kill people, right? They're not good people. We like pirates because they do that stuff.
They're pirates.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
They're not pirates in 2026.
Right.
They're pirates from back in the day, so they have to act like the pirates from back in the day. These aren't modern pirates. These are, it's a historical piece.
The weird thing is that we still have a couple animatronics that are very, very iffy, and especially in that auction scene, there's a gentleman that sits on the very top, and I think he has a cage with the something in it. what is it? I think it's a chicken in a cage or something. But next time we ride that ride, look at the very top. There's a guy on there. I'm not going to say who he is or what he is, but that one's the one that's questionable to me every time I ride there. I'm like, huh, that's weird that they got rid of all this other shit, but not not that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, like even them removing the redhead and putting this new one in doesn't fucking work. She doesn't fit the scene at all. It looks stupid. Jack Sparrow is even a stretch, but he still at least did something right.
Well,
Enough.
the problem, Ken, is that you're trying to sell us as the audience that they're auctioning off chickens. Like, where's the rum at? Okay, like these pirates are here for gold. They're here, you know, again to beat people up, you know, to like drown them, and you know we want rum. Okay, like that's what they're there for.
And nightlife with the
nightlife. They are pillaging and plundering. Okay, this is what they do. You know, I don't want to see this. You know, I'm gonna hug the people that we're trying to chase out over here.
So why do they all need chickens?
I know
they're all
right?
on the same boat together. Why do they all need fucking chickens?
It's weird. You guys don't want 2 hens for a 10?
a hen for a 10.
A hen for a 10. But it's like, I mean, that I get it. They switched out the scene. That's cool. But like, I think you're right, Webba. You could have had a cooler version of that. Like, you could have made it where like it is rum or something. Or something kind of badass and piratey, you know? Not chicken.
Dude, I mean, well, dude, the chick could have been a cool pirate. Like you're saying, I'm not against having a chick pirate in there, but you could have had a really cool chick pirate. Like she's a female, and she's like, yeah, I got a gun. I'm not afraid to use it, and you're all gonna give me all the rum and the gold.
They could have done it the other way around too, where she's being like deceitful, or you know, just trying to like help them escape or something, while he's not while he's turned around auctioning. You could see her like grabbing them and like kind of trying to run away with them, like just something different. And not only that too, she used to be like that was every kid's dream girl, you know what I mean? And now they made her look funny. Like you try to dumb her down a little bit, and I don't think that's right either.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I get it. I mean, that whole topic. I don't want to say it on YouTube. I get it. It's really rough, but like, I don't know. I just think they executed that really poorly, though. I think they could have handled it in a much better way.
Well, OG, I think to like what you were saying before, this was another problem of reacting to something going on in the world.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
I don't think even most people really thought about it when they wrote it, to be honest.
They didn't, because it's a fucking pirate and it's an auction. That's exactly why. But that's the other thing too. Like, look how far out of a certain time frame we were past. Look how far out we were past that time of them talking about Tiana's, and they still did it anyways, even though we didn't need it.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that I remember there was a certain point, Canon, where there was kind of some small glimmer of hope where they weren't going to continue on with doing Tiana's, and you know, but like 2 years later, but you know, still like 2-3 years later, they're still doing these field trips out to New Orleans, you know, and it's like, oh nope, we're still doing it. We're still doing it. I here's the thing with Tiana's. So I've been on it, okay, only one time though, granted.
I know you hate her, bro. By the way,
what?
No, I won't go on it with you, dude. Which I respect you for not going on it. But the time I went on it, I didn't get wet at all, so you would have been fine.
Yeah, maybe. But if it was the three of us, they might have put 1 through 3. So no, screw that. Yeah. But it's the ride's fine. Okay, the ride's fine. My problem is that again, you have a fairy tale princess who could have had just the original storybook layout, and you could have had Dr. Facilier in it as the villain. I mean, it literally writes itself. You had the story right there. Just use that. I mean, we do it for Peter Pan, we do it for Alice, we do it for Pinocchio, for Snow White, for Mr. Toad. Again, we do it for Little Mermaid, right? Just do it for Tiana. But instead, you go and do this whole sequel theme, which I'm not really against, but you had it so perfectly laid out with just the movie itself.
And then you didn't even give us the fucking show.
Oh yeah.
That
made me mad. That would have been cool to have that. Well, here's the other thing too, right? This is why I'm worried about VillainsLand. This is why I'm worried, right? The Snow White attraction at Disneyland, they turned it into like not so scary, basically, right? I forgot. Is it Snow White's Wish or something like that now?
Snow White's Enchanted Wish.
Yes, and before it was her scary adventures, right? So
Yes.
they kind of made it less scary. Then they do Tiana's and they cut out all the villainous part of it. There's no Dr. Facilier in that. I just see with VillainsLand, I mean, unless the company under Tomorrow is going to be completely different, I don't see them really doing villains the way they should do them. We've seen a history of them kind of desensitizing or kind of like watering down these things. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, to your point though, if you're not going to do, well, no, I just want to make some point real quick. If you're not going to go full in with the villains concepts and do it right, then don't do it at all, because you're just going to piss
100%.
people off.
100%. They're going to piss
people off. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got to go all in on it. If they don't have the guts to do that, then they shouldn't use that theme.
Yep. Well, and not to try to prolong this a little bit, but I do got to ask, like, we're gonna get cars over there. I am actually glad that they're not copy and pasting our cars to over there, even though it's a weird concept they're going with and it's a weird location. But it seems like you can't really fuck that one up, where villains you can definitely fuck up.
Okay, well, Ken, let me ask you this: Are you okay if we kind of segue into car/Avatar here real quick?
This is all of our show.
Okay, so perfect. So Avatar, right? When Avatar was first announced that it was coming to DCA, immediately everybody thought that they're like, no, we don't want it over here, or Walt Disney World was like, we don't want it over there, because everybody thought for some reason we were going to get a copy paste of Pandora from Walt Disney World. I never understood that. I was like, why? It's been years later. Why would we get the same thing? And then it's been, people are like online. Is it a walkthrough experience? Is it a single ride or whatever? Okay, our Pandora, we have, yes, to what you said earlier, we have multiple concept art of this of Pandora. We also have the last show a built scale model of the land. This, VillainsLand, they don't even have that. So I like that we're getting a different version of Pandora. They're getting a different version of Cars Land. Okay,
no, I like that.
That's cool.
I like that too, and I do give Disney credit for that. That is cool that they're doing the different versions. And you're right, with the Pandora thing, the fans have been wrong about this thing from the beginning. Because when Bob Iger announced this, I remember all the people on Twitter were like, "It's not going to be a land; it's going to be an exhibit." And then it turns out it's a land. And then they were saying, "Oh, but it's going to be a clone. We don't want a clone." But then now it's not a clone. It's like, that's why with the Pandora thing, I'm kind of to the point where it's like, let them cook and let's see what they can do. They got James Cameron, who's like a stickler for quality. This thing ain't going to be cheap. I'm more worried about the other stuff because they don't have James Cameron overlooking the Coco ride. They don't have James Cameron overlooking the Avengers stuff. That stuff is more potentially cheap. The Avatar stuff is going to be a banger because it has to be, because they don't want to make James mad.
But that's not what is going to bring the people in. The people are going to be brought in for the Coco ride. They're going to be brought in for the Cars ride. They're going to be brought in for the villains. If you're to have all four of those open up right now, I guarantee you that foot traffic in Pandora is going to have the least amount of foot traffic out of all those four, easily, because I mean, even the last movie didn't do what they needed to do. They spent all that money on it and barely brushed the surface.
Well, Kenneth, I'm glad you bring that up, because what other IPs and movies have not done so well, but they're still doing it anyway, or have done? No.
Avengers.
Why did Magic Kingdom get Tron? Tron was never.
Oh, that was day one. Now, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why
Good soundtrack, though.
Here's the thing, why is Indiana Jones getting a ride in Animal Kingdom? The last two movies didn't do well, and they're way over budget.
We don't even know
popular.
Right, and we don't know if they're going to make more Indiana Jones movies because Harrison Ford's too old. So the last two movies didn't do well. We don't even know if they're going to make any more new ones. But Disney World still got their Indy ride. But then Disney World, I don't know. The whole Florida thing upsets me sometimes, because I feel like a lot of times it's always an issue when California gets something.
Yeah,
always.
But the thing is, Monsters Inc. So we're still banking on old. Even though they did come up that new show, which I don't know if you guys seen it. It's fucking awesome. Where they go to school.
I haven't seen it. No.
Or not school. The kid, he like just starts working at the plant.
Oh, Monsters at Work.
Yeah, dude, fucking awesome. I love it. It's so good.
That's dope. That's dope. But you're right though, Candid. You're absolutely right. That's an old franchise. It's not even really that relevant right now.
But do you that, and that's the thing. That's why when I was asking earlier, do you revamp it again? Do you revamp Emperor's New Groove because they know that they can do that? But we already fucking did it. Why don't we have Stitch, by the way? I know we had Stitch for a minute there at Magic Kingdom, but we redid Stitch. It did very well, but we sit back on it. Or we get a layover. We put him in the show building for or I guess Stitch is there technically at their what's that thing, the Hawaiian thing that they have? I can't remember what it's called. With the animatronics that sing.
Tiki Room?
Yeah, Tiki Room. Their Tiki Room I think is hosted by Stitch or something weird. But it's like every time you see Stitch, he's always hosting something or doing something, or he fucking throws toilet paper at some shit. Like it's never just all about Stitch.
Well, you know what? I think, and this is a guess on my end, I'm not really the biggest Lilo and Stitch fan. Not because I don't like the characters. The movie to me just honestly, I just didn't really care.
That's how Star Wars is.
And like
everyone just stops the video now.
No, stop. Exit. I think the problem with Stitch is people love Stitch, like Stitch, not so much Lilo, but it's Lilo and Stitch, and like those two is what make the movie, the story, right? So then it's like, how do you take a character like half of the movie basically and just make that for something? I'm not saying you can't do it, you can, but like, how do you do that, right?
Well, that's what they did with the show. The show, I don't think really had Lilo in it that much. It was just all about Stitch and Gontu, and trying to capture all of his cousins.
I think the problem, Candid, is, and because we're seeing it right now at Disneyland Paris, they got the Frozen stuff, right? But also they're also in that Disney World Adventure, but also they're going to be getting the Lion King attraction. And I think even still in the Disney parks, in terms of lands, so to speak, and even some rides, like the Renaissance era stuff is severely underutilized. Throughout the parks, and
Disneyland needs a reboot there, a big reboot.
Yeah, and I think that's this is just my guess that it's probably a struggle trying to balance all the new stuff that's popular, like recently, versus all the classic favorite stuff that's been popular forever. Like Lion King, like Beauty and the Beast, right? And it's like, okay,
why did we get Tiana's?
Right, and here's the thing, Tiana,
that was a failure, wasn't it?
I mean, by all means, right? But again, okay, failure. How much did Encanto make? Because that movie came out on Disney Plus, and the last time I heard about that movie was when people were singing, what is it, that Bruno song? That was it, and then it kind of just like disappeared. So why is Florida getting a ride of that?
Right, and that's why I don't. But that's why I don't get the argument against Pandora at DCA though, because I see Disney doing a bunch of this other mid franchisey stuff.
Yeah, because
Luca.
Because if
I love Luca, I love Luca.
So here's the thing: if we're going based off popularity and based off what's making money at the box office, some of this stuff shouldn't have been made or being made right now, because right now people are trying to tie what's relevant and what's made money at the box office to that should be put in the park. The problem is that you are then setting up yourself to trend chase. When you're trend chasing, trends eventually end.
Well, and that's the problem. That's what Lucasfilm does, dude. Oh, yeah. Patty Jenkins, you did Wonder Woman? Oh, cool. Now you can come on and do Rogue Squadron. Oh, you did Wonder Woman 2? No, thank you. You're fired. Oh, yeah. Colin Trevorrow, you did Book of Henry? Or not Book of Henry, I'm sorry. Colin Trevorrow did Jurassic World and made $1 bajillion. Cool. Come on and do Episode 9, Star Wars. And then he does Book of Henry, and that movie doesn't do well. So now they get rid of Colin Trevorrow. Lucasfilm is always trend chasing, and these projects take years to develop. So they buy on the trend, but how long this stuff takes to actually get released, by the time the thing is done, the trend is no longer the trend. So that's why you're right. You can't really you can't chase the trends. That's why I don't think they should do. I think they should put Zootopia in DCA, but they need to keep the plan of Pandora. That was the plan. That was what they said at D23. Yep. You can't keep going back on it, because then there comes a point where you go into these expos and like, do you believe the announcements? If they're going to constantly switch things up a year or two later, that's annoying, because it's like, okay, so what's the point of going to D23 then?
Right.
Like, what's the point? I'm going to hear all these announcements, and then in 3 years, are they going to change their mind because this thing isn't the hot thing anymore?
Right, exactly, OG. And the fans were already upset twice in a row about the blue sky stuff. You know,
Right.
and I've been saying for a while now, personally, if there was never ever a D23 Expo like for parks ever again, I would be fine with it because let me ask you this, candidate, because OG, I've talked to you about this, but candidate,
Yeah.
if you never knew about Pandora coming to DCA, would your life be any different if you never knew about it? Like yeah, exactly. So if they were actively working on it and you never knew, your life wouldn't be any different. So what's the difference between you knowing versus not knowing?
Now it just pisses me off knowing.
Well, yeah, because now we have a bunch of question marks. Yeah, now we have a bunch of question marks. Yeah,
exactly. And that still brings up once again the Tron stuff, dude. Like Tron was a box office flop in the 50s, and then they redid it with Legacy,
80s.
flop. 80s, thank you. And then they redid it again, flop. And then they did Eris or whatever it's called, flop.
Mm-hmm.
And I did do a little research that they engineered this backwards. So they had the car, so they wanted to use that car when they were trying to build like Japan. I think it was either Japan or Japan. So that's why the only thing that fit in that category was Tron. But at the same time, dude, like you had one more chance to make a good Tron movie, and then you just fucked it up again. That's 3 times not a charm for you, Disney.
And see, this is where I say too. I've told OG this. This is where if you're taking something that was either a financial flop or not very popular, but you make it a good product in the park, that's where you can get people regardless of how the movie did or how people feel about it.
Waterworld at Universal.
Prime example, right? People don't like the movie sucks, but the show amazing, right? So if your product is good in the park, your attraction or whatever it may be, people are still going to go to it because it's going to be awesome. And I have the same feeling with Pandora. If Pandora here can deliver on the quality of the land, but also the attraction, it's going to be really dope. People are going to flock to this land because here's the other thing too. With Zootopia, it does fit the DCA aesthetic. It's urban, but DCA needs another natural environment landscape of flora, fauna, trees, rock work, water. We need that in DCA.
Because it has a bunch of Zootopia stuff already. The concrete, urban,
the roads.
You have a bunch of that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, technically people are right. When they say, when people say Zootopia fits better in DCA, they are not wrong.
No, they're right, yeah.
But I feel like you have to evolve the park though. I don't want just the same stuff regurgitated 13 times in the same park. Though.
Like I want it to make sense. I don't want to walk into I was telling you guys last time because I never been to Avengers Campus the last time I went, and walking through there, you hit the corner and you're like, oh fuck, this is like I thought it was actually cool. I know people hate on it, but like looking at it from another lens, like they actually did a good job at transitioning you in there. Even though that whole spot where Spider-Man swings, that's hella small. In all the videos, it makes it look like it's massive, but it's not. But it technically kind of worked. That whole little land worked. Mm-hmm. And I'm still going to tell you guys, I wish they just kept going with Marvel all the way down to where they're going to put Pandora, because there's just so much we could do. We could have got Wakanda. There's your different landscape right there, Wakanda. You could have gave us an Asgard. It's just something different. Like beam us in an indoor building. You go in, you get beamed up to Asgard. You have a few rides in there or something. It can work, or do that 3 mini land thing, like they kind of did over, I think, in Japan or wherever the hell.
Yeah, well, apparently in the new Dark ride, the new Avengers E-Ticket Dark ride, there's supposed to be 3 different locations you get transported to. I think one is New York City. I think one is Asgard.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, and I think it's Wakanda. I think that one I'm not sure, but I do know for sure New York and Asgard are for sure.
I'm just sick of going to New York, dude. Like, stop sending me to fucking New York. Like if you're gonna do it, like send me somewhere cool, or at least down into the sewers where I can meet someone. Like, you're gonna give me New York? Why? So I could swing through things?
I guess so. Yeah.
And is it all? It's not all screen based, right? I've done like zero research on this ride.
No, actually, that's funny you mentioned that. It was actually an interaction on Twitter, and somebody made that comment: "Is this going to be all screen based?" And Drew, the Disney dude, who has a lot of great sources.
Shout out to Drew.
Shout out to Drew. We love Drew. He was saying no, there was going to be physicality to it, like big sets. So it'll probably be similar to the Transformers thing, where like there's big set pieces, but the screens are like woven into that whole experience.
Which I don't mind, as long as the screens are are good. What do we have that just did that pretty well? You said Transformers. There's something else that did a great job. The other Avatar, the Avatar ride that we have over in Pandora right now is actually pretty good with their screens.
Yeah.
Um, and Snow White. Snow White has some scenes with the screens and stuff
Oh,
too. With like,
beautiful.
yeah,
Mm.
and and I trying to go all the way back real quick. I actually didn't mind the update. I hated that they went not so scary with it, but
Oh,
it actually the storyline still actually worked pretty
you
well.
Oh
know,
no, yeah. It
it
looks
it, it,
beautiful.
it works and it looks beautiful too. And the upgraded like effects, especially like in the like
The
in
mine.
the mine scene. Oh, dude, it looks awesome. And I love when I love that they kept like that ending set piece of the scary adventures, and they kind of put it like in the middle of the ride where the trees used to be at. And then now you have that, someday I wish, blah blah blah, right? And then you have, Prince Charming kissing Snow White, right? That I like that whole part. It's
No,
really
not allowed to
cool.
do that. Sorry, take that out.
What? Oh yeah, that's
It's
right.
not
Because I remember,
consensual.
yeah, I remember that. There was complaints about that, how that there was no consent to. I was like, well, that's the story. What do you mean? That's
No, that's an inanimate object, bro.
man. I
Like
guess.
that's not how that works in general. But that's the stupid shit where people try to find just reasons to just be a dick. You're in the minority. Like you grab 10 people, one person's gonna say that out of the 10, and that's that one person that does not need to be in that 10 people. Um, sorry, stop it. And I think Disney's gonna start getting out of that a little bit more, hopefully. Um, but if not, I just think that I think Universal will do what they want to do if
Yeah.
Disney keeps taking a seat back. And the crazy thing is that we all thought we are going to get a lot more expansions to the new Epic universe, but we're over here about to get Pokemon inside the main park. Like, dude, that's going to be wild. Pokemon is one of the biggest franchises in the world. What are you
Yeah.
gonna? What's Disney gonna do to that? There's nothing. That Villains Land, that's not gonna come close to touching Pokemon. Cars, not even close to Pokemon. There's nothing they can do that will come close to that unless they do Frozen, but not just a Frozen everyone already seen. They have to go full on Frozen, and they can't because once again we already talked about it. They fucked around and put it in Maelstrom.
Yeah.
So
Or
what
what
are you
they
gonna
can do
do?
too is start utilizing more of their classic library that they haven't been using as well.
But like who would you say that would be able to beat out Pokemon out of the whole Disney library? Who's
Well,
a
no,
Pokemon killer?
I'm not saying it would
I
beat
say
it,
that
but
on
I'm
YouTube.
saying that's their best option.
Oh,
Would
I
be to
think
do that.
Villains has a shot if they did it right, though.
you
But
think so?
Yzma and all that's not going to do it. No.
No, that's not
Like
gonna
the
do it.
Villains are a big they're a billion-dollar franchise for sure. I don't know if it's Pokemon big, but they're big. But they got to do it right. They got to execute right. You can't have B tier villains in there. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
No.
they're doing it so well. Like the fact that they're not putting that land over in Epic Universe actually makes me happy and excited because that means they're really trying to get you in all three parks, and that's really going to cut you off from spending time at Disney. And Disney, they think their answer is what they're trying to do, but at the same time, this land's going to be built 5 years, 6 years before any we see groundbreak for villains because Disney just can't get their head out of their ass.
Well, and Ken, here's a problem going back to the whole D23 thing, right? My other problem with it is these projects, like movies, they are in a pipeline. These projects, they take a while to eventually come about. Well, these projects, they have deadlines, they have changes constantly, right? Well, when you make an announcement, now I as the guest, as the fan, expect what you announced to now come to fruition.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been saying this whole time, I would rather not. If you're designing a new land or ride, cool. I'm best off not knowing because one, when you have announced something so early and you have to wait for so long, the hype just kind of dies off because we're waiting for so long for that thing to come to
Exactly.
fruition. And on top of that, plans can change. Whatever you had said initially, something could get cut. It happened in Galaxy's Edge, and then that leaves more room for speculation, for fans to criticize and nitpick this thing, right? I'd rather them just, hey, we have a cool idea, let's design it, draft it, build it, and then here you go. Oh, by the way, here's the concept art we have for this land or ride while we were in the design process. Here you go.
Yep. So do you think, like kind of what OG said earlier, do you think that, or what you said, sorry, is that letting everybody know at these D23 expos, do you think that's also biting them in the ass because now they're listening too much to the people on the outside?
No, it is because now you are beholden to the fandom, the community, to have these announcements
instead of what
every
you wanted
2
to
years.
do.
Now, here's the thing. If they still want to have announcements, I think the best way to do it would to be have a parks experiences panel every 4 years, because now you have a 4-year pipeline between announcements of projects, and that way, at least having, I think, the 4-year gap, you'll have a better chance of having the stuff you're announcing being more solidified.
I like it. That makes sense. I think we leave it there. This was a great episode. Yeah, we veered off a little bit, but that's the name of the game. And these are good conversations that we need to have. And there's just 3 of us on a screen, but we have a lot of viewers that will have their own opinion, and we would love to hear that. So please leave comments below. Go check out Mr. Webba and OG55 over on their channel. This whole villains thing, we need it to work. We want to see Disney succeed. We want to get more from them. I don't want to be an old man and have to wait for these things to fucking get built. Like we gotta hit the gas a little bit, because Universal it hits that gas pretty quickly. So with that, let them know where they can find you. Let's kick it off, Webba. OG was like, he's ready to
go.
go.
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh,
go for it.
All right. Thank you so much, tall hair man. I appreciate it. You can find me, Mr. Webba, at Webcast Citizen on all social media platforms, and also on my YouTube channel, Webcast Citizen. You can also find me on Orange Grove 55.
Sweet. OG.
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube with these 2 fine gentlemen all the time, talking studio, theme parks, corporate side, all that good stuff. Orange Grove 55. And you can find me on Instagram and X, Orange Grove 55. Candy Camper, thank you for being a great host, brother. This was a great conversation. We got into a lot of stuff.
Appreciate it. Yep. Once again, Candy Camper on YouTube, on Instagram, and over on TikTok is where you can find me the most. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you want us to talk about next. I'm going to try to get these guys on here a little bit more. I might take a few months off. I'm about to have another baby at the end of this month. So if some of these come out a little bit sporadic or they come a lot too fast, Webba, no one. Okay, cool. Just know I'm trying to get as much content for you guys as possible, but I'm still around. Message me, let me know what you guys want me to talk about. But I appreciate everybody here. You'll find everything down in the links below. Peace.